the mic, talking day and spilling life, from trending memes to wildest dreams. Girl, did you hear that crazy thing? Girl, did you hear what's going down? We're lighting up this whole damn town. Strange and trending every week. Bestie vibes that'll never peak.
The kid was having these dreams of like these torturous things happening to people.
Always like bodies, like after
yes.
people have passed, they were turned into like totems or something like that. And this is in the Hollywood series.
Yes.
So
And they were cutting off the eyelids, and there's a whole box full of the fucking eyelids.
it would be like if you were keeping your toenail clippings, but like way grosser.
So gross, dude.
She's flipping the light switch on and off, on and off, and the lights are flickering on and off, on and off, on and off. But
no bulb in it.
Dad took all the bulbs. So the youngest brother goes, chases after the sister, can't catch her. He goes to mom and goes, Mom, sis is being a dick. She's flipping the lights on and off in her bed.
Whatever, yeah.
Somehow. And she's like, that's not possible. I put your sister to bed. And she's been in her room this whole time.
Oh shit.
And it was telling him that, you know, his family hates him because he's sick, and it was just really picking on all of his insecurities, and it was like telling him to do things to his family.
Mm-hmm.
So the shower curtain's choking people, rosaries are choking people, people are going down. So like
the house is mad.
The house is super pissed, and like all of a sudden, she says that her face contorted and her throat swelled up. And she went into this like black hole, this pit of like despair and anger and sadness and just this whole feeling of loss, right? This is what she feels. But on the outside, her body is making weird faces and not responding. So
Interesting.
The
How do we know what is actually factual in the true story of the docuseries when they also were saying that not all of their stories were matching up? You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
I mean,
like,
and that's
because
the fun part about a
this is
haunting.
This is
Desert.
like your own DIY
We
Blair
tried
Witch.
to do our own little DIY Blair Witch, and this is where I got an ass full of cactus, my friends.
Oh, but like, I was like, did that really fucking happen? And like, it did to an extent,
Right.
but not that dramatic.
Right.
And I was like, that's fine. Like, that is cool. Like, that was a good fluff to the documentary.
It has to be appropriate fluff, folks.
Yes. Like, don't make it so extreme.
Don't overfluff it.
Hey guys, welcome to Girl Did You Hear?
The ultimate bestie hangout. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Kristen. Today we are on episode 61. Do-do-do-do. Moving right along.
I know. Continuing on with our spooky series.
Yes, spooky series. This is number 4 of our series, or 3?
Yeah, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Annabelle was our start, right?
Annabelle was the start.
Annabelle was the start. So
Before we
this is
kind of
4.
started to do a spooky series.
And we have one more to go.
Yes.
So
I hope you guys are
lock
enjoying
in.
these so far.
They are kind of fun.
They're fun for me, more fun for me than they are Jessica, I'm sure.
It's all right.
My little skeptic over here. I love it though.
It's not hard. It's
No.
not hard to not think that this is real, because this is really hard to believe.
It can be.
Yeah.
No, it can be. Like, I get it. Trust me, I do.
Right.
Like, as much as I am like a believer, I also understand the like difficultness of trying to believe.
Right. The skeptic side.
Yes. So today we're going to be talking about The Haunting in Connecticut.
Yes. 208 Meridian Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah. Great
Um,
pronunciation on that one.
super cool looking house.
Yeah.
All these haunted houses are so cool looking. They really are.
Well, and I mean, and a lot of them are coming up. This one was also a funeral home.
yes.
So a lot of them are coming up used as like old cemeteries or funeral parlors or
which I guess that's what
places
they
where
did back then.
dead bodies hung out. And I mean, I don't know. I guess that's how you do it in small towns.
I guess.
You just use someone's house to process the dead.
So we watched on Netflix the movie The Haunting in Connecticut. It came out in 2009.
So The Haunting in Connecticut, the movie we're talking about
Yes.
is Hollywood's interpretation of this true story.
Of the true story. Yes.
So the reason why this
Did you know about the story before you watched the movie? Did you look anything up before it or no?
No,
Me either.
I didn't.
I just watched the movie.
I mean, and
The
I've
Hollywood version of the movie.
I've watched Hollywood's version as well. prior to this, so I've seen the movie before.
Me too. As I was watching it, I was like, oh, I've seen
yeah.
this before.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those moments.
Mhm. I was like, this is familiar. Oh, that's why.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's definitely it's a great movie. It's a good paranormal movie.
Good paranormal movie. I
It's-
think the best I've seen so far
out of our series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite.
For sure. I would definitely put it in like the top few of like the better ones that I've seen. That
Especially for
aren't
like its spooky scale. Yeah.
Yes. That aren't super over the top. And that there's definitely some parts in there that are not believable.
Right.
But, you know, to an extent, I'm like, this is really entertaining. Because it makes you wonder, like, damn, is that real or not real?
Right.
Like, did that really happen or not?
Right.
We're gonna let you know.
Ta-da.
Spoiler alert. So the story talks about a family, in the movie, the Snedker family.
The Snedker family.
Snedker family.
I think that's how we pronounce it.
Believe so. They moved into this house in 1986.
Yes.
Because their oldest son, Philip, was getting treatment for cancer.
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yes. So they moved into this house because it was closer to the cancer treatment.
Right.
And so they didn't have to drive
Their current
hours.
house where they were living was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was about a 300-mile trip to and from where Philip was getting his cancer treatments.
Yes.
So, and evidently the 8-hour to and fro was just grinding on him. Right.
Yeah,
And I can
well,
only imagine.
Yeah. Because he's
So-
like in the back, like after treatment, like puking, just feeling
being
shitty,
sick.
you know?
Yeah. Just having cancer.
Yeah. So mom gets the idea to try to find a house closer, you know, to the facility, comes across this house that happens to be putting up for sale right when she drives by.
Right.
How convenient.
Right. Right. So it's like it's under construction when she first finds the house.
Yes.
And someone lets her in so that she can kind of take a look. And as she's going around, she speaks to like the landlord or one of the people in charge and figures out that this house is fortunately in her price range.
Yes.
So
She talks to her husband. They take out a second mortgage.
right,
They do the whole thing.
the things that they need to do in order to get it done, and they move in.
And they still have their house in
In
New
New
York
York.
because dad still has his
His job.
job there.
Right, he was like
Yes.
making a transfer.
Yes. And he was coming back like on weekends and stuff like that. So he wasn't there full time.
No,
It was just mom, the son, and then he had some younger siblings, and they had the mom's niece or something living with them.
so the niece doesn't move in till later, but Hollywood puts the niece in right away.
right away. Right.
So there was the mom, the oldest son, a younger son, because those two shared a room.
yes.
And then the youngest daughter.
Correct.
So
Right.
those are the children who originally move into the house.
And so as they're kind of like, you know, moving in and settling in, the mom finds some old photographs of like the funerals taking place, but, like in that house. And it's literally like people in caskets
With their
and
families.
with their families viewing them. I guess that's what they did back then.
Yeah,
They took pictures of that type of stuff.
I guess. I mean, how else do you memorialize?
I guess that's so weird. People, I don't think would do that nowadays.
No.
So anyway, she finds these pictures, thinks it's kind of creepy, throws them in the trash right away.
Yeah.
Right?
Tries to get rid of them.
Yeah. But as soon as they're there, the son starts seeing things pretty instantaneous from when they move into this house.
So the first encounter that they have, it actually happens to the mom when she's mopping the
Right?
floor.
Yes. Well, I don't think she saw it. I think he's the only one that saw it.
In one of the other movies, videos, docu-series that I watched on this on Amazon Prime, I'll have to set you guys up with it because it was actually a good
Yeah, we'll put it in the description for you guys. Drop a link.
interpretation of this story. The mom, because they actually have the family members. This is from 2002.
Okay.
So they actually have the family members gray-faced out giving their testimonies. So the mom in her testimony says that she remembers, and she blamed it on stress because her son's got cancer. You know, she's got a kid that's sick.
Yeah,
She's,
it's hard.
moving her whole family to and from.
Splitting
So
households with her husband, a lot of stuff.
She's mopping the floors, and she remembers seeing the mop water turn like red gelatinous goo, and then she like wipes the floor, and then she wipes the floor again, and she's like, is that real? And then does the whole and then poof,
it's gone.
it's gone.
Okay. So like in the Hollywood version, when they're first moving in, the mom is cleaning. So all the kids pick out the room. The oldest son picks out the basement area as his bedroom. Typical oldest teenager, right? She's down there cleaning, mopping, and he's the one that has the hallucination, the visual of the blood.
Right.
And
He
she's
sees the
like,
mopping. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like freaking out, and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing, nothing. I didn't see anything. Like,
I didn't
it's all
see
good."
it. I didn't see
Because so he was on, and I don't know if this is true or not. I didn't look this part up, but he was on a trial for his cancer treatment.
Yes, he was on a experimental cancer treatment.
Correct. Yeah. So with that, like they have protocols. So like if someone's on a trial for something and they start experiencing specific symptoms, they cannot continue that trial anymore. And so they were telling him if he started to experience hallucinations and stuff like that, he couldn't continue the trial. And so he wasn't telling anybody about these hallucinations, especially his mom initially, because he didn't want to not get the treatment. So he was trying to just like brush it off, thinking that it was part of the treatment at first. My understanding of it was that he felt like it was, that he didn't know for sure if it was haunted or if he was hallucinating, basically.
So, right. In the beginning, it doesn't really happen too hard to him. He just has like a lot of walking into cold areas, a lot of like kind of just seeing ghosts in the shadows sort of thing, or figures in the shadows sort of thing. And
he has weird ass dreams.
It was a lot of his mom not wanting to buy the fact that he's seeing these things, because he keeps telling her, hey, this is happening. Hey, this is happening. She's like, no, sweetie, it's just because you're sick. It's just because of the medicine. It's a lot of his mom's propaganda.
Is this in the Hollywood version?
No, this is in the docuseries version.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of his mom's propaganda is, hey, but babe, it's just your medicine. You know, I understand you're going through some trial stuff. Nobody really knows how this stuff works. It could be just the fact that you're sick.
Right.
You know, and so they keep going through the fact that, you know, hey, okay, it's fine. They keep just brushing off all of these things on the fact that he's sick until other people in the house start experiencing things.
Right. But in the Hollywood version of the movie, he doesn't say anything to his mom, and his mom is kind of clueless.
Yeah, hands off on this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. In the Hollywood
Until
interpretation,
later.
the priest isn't a chemo patient either.
The priest.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
true story, in the
Yeah.
docuseries,
The guy that he meets, yeah. So in the Hollywood version, you know, the kid is having the hallucinations. He's trying to keep it quiet.
Right.
Because he doesn't want anybody to know.
No.
The hallucinations get worse. He starts having these dreams or things where he goes into like that weird room that they couldn't get into initially.
The lab.
In his bedroom. It was closed off. It was like a sealed thing. And then one night the door was just open and he was able to go in there.
Right.
I don't know if it was like a lucid dream or if he actually went in. Either way, like he found some crazy ass tools and stuff in there from the funeral home, I guess, left over from stuff that they did with bodies.
Right.
I'm assuming. Anyways, weird tools, weird vibes in there, just a lot of weird stuff. And then like his little brother found him in there one morning. And he started like playing like tricks on him. Remember, he like made him really scared while he was in there and was like spinning on the table
On the
super
gurney.
fast.
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
And the son in the Hollywood version of the movie started like picking on his younger siblings more and more and kind of like becoming more angry.
Yep.
And like negative and playing really cruel jokes and stuff on his siblings. And I think that's kind of when his mom started to like, what is going on? You know?
So
in the Hollywood side.
Along with that, I mean, in the Hollywood, the movie touches on this too. The youngest daughter starts playing with her dolls and she sees a figure and she blames it on her brothers picking on her.
Yes.
Right. So she runs into her mom. Her mom says, hey, would you tell my brothers to stop picking on me? This isn't fair. And then her mom goes to her brothers because she's had it, right? She's stressed out.
Yeah. She's like, I've had enough.
Can't, like, this is too much.
This is the last thing she needs to be dealing with.
And then the boys are like, nah, we were over here doing nothing.
Yeah.
We weren't anywhere near her. We weren't doing anything. And then she, you know, I mean, so then now the little girl is starting to experience stuff.
Correct.
And she's going to her mom and saying, hey, mom, I'm seeing things.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom's like, no, it's just your brother's playing tricks on you.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like
And then there was an
reprimanding
incident
the boys. And
where
the boys are like, what?
they were playing hide and seek or something, and they were up in the attic, and the little girl fell partially through the floor. Remember? And her like foot got stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then the older son, Matt, or what his name's Matt in the movie. His name's
Yeah,
Matt.
in the mat. I mean,
Uh,
and I think that's kind of like a flair for the dramatic because I don't remember them mentioning anything where they found like artifacts from the old funeral home in the attic.
In the docuseries that you watched. Yeah. But like in the Hollywood movie, they have another scene where they all find more photographs.
Right.
And
Where they find the eyelids.
yes. And it's like a whole like little chest.
It's a little box full of eyelids, folks.
Yes.
It's gross.
Literally. Because the kid was having these dreams of like these torturous things happening to people.
Always
And
like bodies. Like
yes.
after people have passed, they were turned into like totems or something like that. And this is in the Hollywood series.
yes.
So
And they were cutting off the eyelids. And there's a whole box full of the fucking eyelids.
it would be like if you were keeping your toenail clippings, but like way grosser.
So gross, dude. When I saw that in the movie, I was like, oh my God. And I can handle a lot of stuff. And even that one made me kind of like, just a smidge. I was
Right.
like, ooh, that's a little much there, guys.
Oof. I mean, and that's, I think, I don't know. It wasn't like over the top gory.
No, not
it was
at all.
It was like really kind of poignant in places that made it really.
It was just like creepy.
It was
just
like
very,
it was well done. It was
Yeah.
my favorite one so far.
yeah, super well done.
So the parents are not believing the children that these hauntings are existing, and so
No.
the children start
wait,
to
when
get really
they've-
frazzled.
Yeah, but when they find those pictures in the Hollywood movie in the attic, that's when the whole family determines and discovers that was a funeral home before. And everyone is aware now that it was a funeral home before. And,
Right.
you know, we have to come together as a team, and dad's trying to like hype them up. And, you know, do you remember that part or no?
That happened way earlier. Like Philip figures out it's a funeral home first, tells his little brother, and so they try to keep it a secret. Obviously, little boys are not going to keep it a
Oh, no.
secret. So then they do have like a little powwow. Hey, this was a
Yeah.
funeral home. Everybody's fine. Because when the mother figures out it's a funeral home pretty early on, especially in the realtors, they like make a deal. They're like, hey, take out all this shit.
Yeah.
But like leave a couple things that we could use. So they left stuff like a deep freeze and other things that would still be useful to the house. But they
Right.
took out like all the weird, more
Creepy
Christian
stuff.
stuff, supposedly. So that's when the family gets together and says, hey, you know, this is what it is. It is what it is.
It's just a house. It's
It's
a home.
just a
now.
house.
Yeah.
It's a home because we live in it, and you know, don't be
Right, my bad.
afraid of it.
Mhm.
No, that's
I thought
fine.
I
The
thought that
movie-
happened
The
in a
movie puts
different-
it in. The movie does a good job about telling the story, but the movie takes a lot of liberties
Yeah.
in the story.
That's fair.
And it's only just because I watched like 3 other things that gave me like the same timeline
That's fair.
for this that I was like, okay. Because it's like it's to the point to where everybody knows it's a funeral home, right?
Yes.
The kids are playing around in it. Everybody's trying to get healthy.
Some people are seeing stuff. Some people aren't.
right. Like the parents aren't seeing things, but the
No.
kids are.
The kids are, and the kid
So
that's
much
getting
so.
cancer, that has the cancer, is the one experiencing the most.
The most, right? His visions start escalating to like spooky level stuff. Everybody starts sleeping with lights on in the
Yes.
house. And dad's at his breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole light bulb thing actually happens. He takes everybody's light bulb except for one.
He did. So he came home. So he
sees the electrical bill, sees that it's 2 times more or like exponentially more than it needs to be, comes home, sees
Drunk.
Well, in the movie he's wasted.
Yeah.
He comes home, he figures out pretty quickly that it's the kid sleeping with all the lights on because shit's happening to him.
Yeah.
He gets hella mad.
very mad.
Starts pulling bulbs out of everything.
All the lights.
And I mean, and they make it very dramatic in the movie where he starts like smashing the bulbs in the sink.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, fix this. And I'm like, damn, Dan.
Like, jeez, calm down.
He just pops all those bulbs.
He's crashing out.
And just like lets it go. Just is like, whatever, fine. my family's crazy. I'm just going to move on.
Mm-hmm. So then, but after that, he just kind of like left.
Yeah. He goes back to work.
He left all pissed off, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, okay, they're just standing there. There's a lot that kind of like
So
that happens and builds throughout the story,
Right.
with like the hallucinations and the stuff that the kid Matt is experiencing in the Hollywood version.
well, and I mean, in this is where the Hollywood version kind of fucks up the timeline.
Okay.
So like dad takes all the light bulbs away, and
Mhm.
then the brothers witness the little girl, the sister, flipping the lights on with no bulbs in the socket.
Oh, interesting.
That happens in the movie.
Yeah.
So this is back when the brothers are still sharing a room. So dad's already ripped out all the light bulbs. There's only one left in the room. And so then the brothers see a vision of their sister, and she's flipping the light switch on and off, on and off. And the lights are flickering on and off, on and off, on and off.
With
But
no bulb in it.
dad took all the bulbs. So the youngest brother goes, chases after the sister, can't catch her. He goes to mom and goes, Mom, sis is being a dick. She's flipping the lights on and off in her bedroom.
Whatever. Yeah.
Somehow. And she's like, that's not possible. I put your sister to bed, and she's been in her room this whole time.
Oh shit.
And he's like, no, she was just down in our room fussing with the light switch. And she's like, I'm sorry, but if you want, we can go up there and check on her. They go up there and check on her, and she's fast asleep.
Oh shit.
Right. So this is when, right around the time, and so this is where the Hollywood movie starts to get it really weird. This is where they move the niece in.
Okay.
Okay. So the niece is now living with this family.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't really start experiencing things until Philip starts to get all aggro.
Mm-hmm.
So Philip gets to a point to where he removes himself from the family. He starts to become really recluse, starts to kind of become a lot more morbid, kind of like more into the whole fact that he's dying thing,
Yes.
kind of pulls away from the family, and then starts having like angry outbursts.
Mm-hmm.
And in this interim, this is when the niece Teresa is in the house, and she says that they were constantly fighting. I mean, him and the dad were always going at it. Like, it was just always, he's like just fighting
Arguments,
with
stuff
anything
going
and
on.
everything
Yeah.
that he can. And during this time, sources say that the visions that he was having were getting like super serious. They were getting to the point to where he was seeing someone at the foot of his bed every single night. It was the dude in the suit with the red eyes. And it was telling him that, you know, his family hates him because he's sick. And it was just really picking on all of his insecurities. And it was like telling him to do things to his family.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't, like, he was in this whole like violent outburst ragey thing where the spirit's telling him all of this nasty things, just drumming up his whole rage moment. And then he attacks his cousin, his niece, his cousin, the first time. So everybody pulls him off. No big deal. She's like, WTF, my guy. I thought we were close. And he's
Right.
like, whatever, you smell bad. Anyways, and fluffs
Go
off.
over there.
Right. And so he does it again.
Yeah.
And that's when they take him away
To the psych place.
to the psych ward.
and he gets diagnosed schizophrenic.
Eventually.
Eventually. Yeah.
Yes. After the whole house gets all fucking freaky. But as they're pulling him,
So after he leaves, the house gets more
let's see,
agitated.
where is it? Philip pulls from the family, gets away. Cousin moves in and immediately suspects something's wrong with Philip. Yeah, that's right. She gets like bad vibes from him right out of the jump because they were really close. And then he's like, FUB.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, whoa.
Whoa.
So Philip keeps attacking the cousin and gets committed and says, now that I'm out of the house, it's going to come after you guys. And so he goes away.
And they're
He's-
trying to figure out what's going on with him.
He's out of the house, right? So the family reaches out to the local priest, the priest that married them, and goes, hey, something's going on. Rewind a little bit backwards. The priest also blessed Philip when they first moved into the house because he was sick. It was like a blessing of health.
right.
So this guy is familiar with this situation,
Copy.
right? The
Okay.
house, the family, the deal. So he comes back and he's like, hey, yeah, you know, I get it. Yeah, you're haunted and all, but the only thing you can do is just ignore it.
Can't really do anything about
It'll
this
just
one.
go away if you just ignore it, right? Don't give it the energy it wants, right? It's like, I get it. Don't feed it and it'll just go away.
That's not always the case, though.
So that's what their priest says. Their priest says, I get it. I believe you. What you're saying is true, guys, but just
the same
ignore
for
it.
me.
Just ignore it. Just ignore it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'm not sure I could ignore all of that going
No.
on.
And then that's when the freaky stuff happens to the niece and the mom.
Yeah. When they're getting kind of like tormented around the house a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember a scene in the Hollywood version where like the niece was like taking a shower and she almost got like suffocated by the shower curtain.
The mom, the theory is the mom was, it's like it was nighttime, right? So the niece is asleep. The mother gives her a rosary for comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes to bed with this rosary on, and she starts to feel the sheets pull off of her. And then all of a sudden she's getting choked by her rosary. She does
The
her
mom
No, this is the niece.
in the docuseries?
Yes. So the niece is getting choked out by her rosary and having her sheets ripped off. She breaks free of whatever she's under. Meanwhile, simultaneously, the mom's getting choked out by the shower curtain, and she runs in there.
It's not the same in the Hollywood version.
It's not. She runs in there and sets the mom free. It isn't though.
Because the niece is the one that's getting suffocated by the shower curtain.
and
I
the
don't
mom
know what's
lets her
happening.
free.
I don't know what's happening to the mom. I think the niece just gets free from the shower curtain.
In the docuseries. The shower curtain's choking people. Rosaries are choking people. People are going down. So like
the house is mad.
The house is super pissed. And like after the oldest son gets admitted, this is like the night after or a few nights after, the dad has left to go back to New York to go to work. And while he's at his job site, supposedly
Something happens to his car.
his work truck all of a sudden goes from being parked and stationary in the position that it was in to driving through his work building. And so he calls them up and is like, oh my God, you'll never believe what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then they are like, oh my God, you'll never believe what just happened.
Right.
And so they have this phone conversation, and I can't remember whether it was before that or after that, the phone rang again and they picked it up and it was just a giggle.
That's creepy.
So, and this is happening to the mom and the niece. So all of this stuff is culminating. The dad comes back home. They reach out again and they're like, help me. The house
to the priest, right? They
house
reach
is
out.
fucked. We need help.
Yeah.
These are big, nasty roaches.
Yes.
Like they need to go.
We need to bomb this shit. That's funny. So then the priest, does he come do like an exorcism in the docuseries or no?
So what happens is the priest is like, we need evidence. We need evidence that this is actually happening. So Hollywood takes a hard left. The kid breaks out of the psych ward, goes back to the house, and like they trot, and his little his priest buddy was like, oh my gosh, no, I need to get this boy's soul out of the house, because he was the one that was helping with the seances and was the medium in between the two worlds. And he was like, this boy needs to be released. And then he's like, oh no, the boy was trying to save the demonic thingy from the house. And that's when Hollywood takes a lot of really cool liberties as to how to end the story, but the story doesn't end there. He doesn't chop up the house. The house doesn't get caught on fire. What happens is a bunch, the priest is like, yeah, it's okay, ignore it. So she goes in and remembers seeing in the newspapers a story about Ed and Lorraine. Mm-hmm. Ed and Lorraine Warren, our favorite
friends.
couple of the haunted series we've had.
I'm becoming a little skeptical about these two.
Well, they did their due diligence, I guess. So Ed and Lorraine Warren get involved. And so they're like, okay, we need to build enough evidence. We need to build a case basically for the church so that they'll perform an exorcism for these folks. So Ed and Lorraine come in.
Yeah, because apparently you can't just like walk
You can't just
walk
call up
into
and
a Catholic
order an
church
exorcism
and be like, I need an
No.
exorcism
No,
done.
you can't do that. So Ed and Lorraine get involved, get a whole investigation team. They move into the house. Lorraine starts feeling shit right away. Everybody moves into the living room, investigators, family, and all. And so they claim that the next weakest family member is the mom.
Interesting.
So this is when she gets possessed. All of a sudden, she says that her face contorted and her throat swelled up. And she went into this like black hole, this pit of like despair and anger and sadness and just this whole feeling of loss, right? This is what she feels. But on the outside, her body is making weird faces and not responding. So
Interesting.
the paranormal investigators pull around her and are praying and are holding like a little seance and are doing all of their best work to keep her alive and the demons at bay, if you will.
Your face.
So they're going through this, and supposedly it takes 8 hours for her to snap out of it.
Oh, Jesus.
For them to like get the demon out of there.
Okay.
And so after she goes through this whole experience, Ed and Lorraine chase the demon into the basement and
Oh, gosh.
shut the door.
Oh,
So it's really just that quick. I mean, there's like
so they just shoved it back into the basement.
they just I mean, they just put it back. I guess
Okay.
they put it away. And
Interesting.
They held the seance. They told the mom that she's like, she said she felt stuck in a hole, and then after 8 hours, she comes back. She's fine. She said it felt like seconds.
That's
They said it was 8 hours.
That's crazy.
So after all of that, they have enough evidence to prove to the church that, sorry, there was an extra step. A priest came in and put the demon in the basement. My bad. So they had enough evidence to prove that they needed an exorcism.
Okay.
And so the cool part that I thought about was that you can't just, like you said, you can't just call it up like a pizza. You gotta have a whole case. There's like a whole division of Catholicism.
I was going to say
that
within.
are specifically dedicated to exorcisms, which I
Yes.
thought was kind of cool.
There is.
So they finally proved their case. The priest for the exorcism, the true skeptic, as they call them, because they have to be, I guess, for demon sakes,
Yeah.
comes in and is like, yep, this is haunted, performs an exorcism, and then the family moves out.
And everyone's fine.
Old Philly boy goes into remission, gets diagnosed with schizophrenia, and everybody's fine.
The end.
Pretty much. It is very anticlimactic. Sorry,
That's
guys.
crazy though, because like there's so many unanswered things. Also, I know we kind of were talking about this before, but like coming from the believer, I do try to fact check myself and like, find the logic and, the BS and things, right? I did see a couple different contradictory things between like Ed and Lorraine's story and like the Hollywood version, and obviously Hollywood is Hollywood.
Yeah, no, they're going to do their best
So-
to tell the story in the most profitable way possible.
For sure. And we know that the Warrens seem to have a little track record for that. But what it makes me feel is like with this movie specifically, because I feel like of the stories we've done so far, this is probably one of the most true ones, I feel like.
What?
Well, I shouldn't say true ones.
How is this
I
any
shouldn't say true
different
at all.
than Amityville?
It's not. They're all the same. They're all the same.
Yeah.
They're really all the same.
It's just a house.
No,
that's
but
had some freaky shit happen inside.
there was a point where basically their book came out
Yeah.
before the movie,
right.
before the Hollywood movie. A book came out called A Dark Place or whatever
Right.
in 1993
Right.
from Ed and Lorraine.
Right.
That book was written, but the writer, who I believe was one of the investigators that was with them,
Correct.
had interviewed the family and was telling the Warrens that, I'm sorry, but some of these stories are not really adding up. They're kind of all over the place, whatever. I don't really know what to do. There's not really a story here. There's not really anything here, is what he was trying to tell the Warrens.
Right.
And the Warrens basically told him to make up the rest and fill in the gaps and make it a good horror movie. or book or
Right.
whatever.
Tell a good story.
Yeah, tell a good story basically. And so he was like, okay. So he basically did that. So it's like, how do we know what is actually factual in the true story of the docuseries when they also were saying that not all of their stories were matching up? You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
I mean,
like,
and that's
because
the fun part about a
this is
haunting,
or a
right? Because
paranormal, right? An investigation.
Everybody's case is different, and that's what I'm learning, right? Because like what the mom experienced, there's a note in there where like the mom gets fucked with, where she goes and she sets out plates. She knows she puts the plates on the
Oh,
table.
yeah.
She set up the table, and she turns around and the plates are fucking gone, and she's like, ugh. So. But she's not having some malevolent figure stand at the edge of her bedside and tell her to go hurt her children.
Right.
Right. So everybody's experiencing these paranormal activities different, right? The little girl seeing, figures. The boys are seeing figures, but also hearing voices. The oldest son, the one closest to the veiler with the thinnest thing between the things, I guess, is the conduit here. But it's always I don't know.
It just seems
everybody's
like
experiencing it differently. So of course their stories are going to be different. And I mean, and the mom is feeling like hella guilt because now her oldest son is off. Not only does he have cancer, but he's in a psych ward.
right.
Because she basically put him there because she wouldn't believe that all of this is going on. But now he's like popping off and attacking family members. So she does what she has to do
Right.
to like make it safe.
For everybody else. Yeah, and probably for him too.
Right.
It just seems like a small little coincidence that I've noticed with things related to
Ed and Lorraine.
Ed and Lorraine, like investigations that they've done.
Yeah.
And then they have like a movie or a book, or someone writes a movie or a book about that property or house or whatever. And then we later find out that, some of the things that were said in the initial story may or may not have been really actually true.
Right. Well,
You
and
know?
I mean, and like I think that's the main vein of being paranormal is
But-
that it's what is true.
Yeah.
What can be true.
But if Ed and Lorraine are claiming to
It's like
be
Ghost
these
algebra.
amazing paranormal investigators, and then they're putting out movies trying to, show, and I understand Hollywood is Hollywood and they're always going to like flash things up and fluff it up a little bit. But if you want something to actually be true, just make it true.
Why
just
would
make
they want
it what
to
it
be
is.
true when I could tell you a different story that's way more fanciful?
Yeah, but I feel like if someone put out a movie, like a true haunting movie with no initial fluff or shit coming out of someone's mouth during an exorcism, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they don't have all the extra added Hollywood fluff, I feel like a lot of people would believe that type of shit more. And secondly, I feel like it would make it so that there's not a lot of fake people out there.
So you enjoy the Blair Witch Project over The Haunting in Connecticut.
Well, Blair Witch sucked ass.
But
That
here
was,
we go.
was true.
It's stripped
I know,
of all
I
of its
know.
Hollywood
but
frivolities.
like, there's got to be a way to make these types of things factual and also entertaining.
No, because how can you make something like this factual? Because it's not. Like, here's the thing. I think these stories don't happen until Ed and Lorraine happen.
That's
you know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
Like,
Well, and like there's a weird theme here that I've been noticing. Okay,
we've done enough.
of houses that were like they're claimed to be haunted. Previous owners have lived in them. A family moves in. It's haunting them. They move out. Other people move in, but then previous and current owners don't experience the same types of hauntings in that house
or any hauntings.
But I understand that not every being will experience that type of stuff because everyone's veil is thicker than others.
Right.
That's how I'm going to say it, I guess.
I just hope you don't ever get sick.
But,
'cause
like-
then your veil will get really thin and people start fucking with you from the
I
other side.
guess. Like, Jesus. Don't get cancer, I guess. Fuck.
I mean, just period.
But like, it just seems strange to me. And then like we've read, like I said, we've read past stories about movies and stuff, like with Amityville Horror House. Like there was partial truths in that, but then the movie claims everything to be true. And so it is annoying in a sense how they come out with these true docuseries, even, right? Docuseries, documentaries, whatever, true stories on true movies, true events. And yes, it's Hollywood. I get it.
Okay, so they
But-
put based on a true story in the beginning of it for you.
Yes. Based on true events. Yes.
So they're telling you that they've taken liberties to make this more fancier than, I mean, because in the Haunting in Connecticut movie,
Yeah, but like,
the mom doesn't get possessed.
right.
She
well,
doesn't.
a lot of things that, because I didn't watch the docuseries that you watched. I only watched the movie. So that's why we kept flipping back and forth with what we were talking about. Because a lot of things that you were saying in the docuseries that happened supposedly in the true story
Right.
happened oppositely. That's not even a word. Happened opposite
Yeah.
of
What Hollywood
what
did
happened in the Hollywood
flipped
movie.
the timeline. And the documentary that I watched had like interviews with the family and stuff.
But like, I just feel like that's how shit gets fucked up. Like
Yeah.
that's how the fucking telephone game happens. Essentially,
Exactly. I see what you're saying.
You know
So
what I
people
mean?
are going to say, oh, okay. So since The Haunting of Connecticut, the movie that was made in 2005 or 9 or whatever, is the true story, because they tell me that it's based on a true story.
Right.
So then
Because
people are going to
most people-
believe that Phil ran back in the house, hacked a bunch of dead bodies out of the wall, and then
which was
caught the shit on
crazy ass
fire.
scene.
It
Actually,
was actually kind of cool. Yeah.
it was cool, but I was like, "What the fuck? That is
Yeah.
crazy."
That's not what I expected.
No, I did not expect that either.
No,
There
no,
was
no,
a
no.
scene in the movie where he starts hacking down the walls in the basement, and it literally bodies are just falling out.
All the eyelid owners
piles of bodies are just falling out of
that
these
are like
walls,
scribed
like
with all of this like ancient text.
weird.
and stuff.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Now, like I said, I understand the entertainment value of Hollywood. I get that. Everybody's
Right.
got to make money. However, when you're trying to tell a true story of something and you want to make a movie out of it, and you want like the trueness, like the authenticness to like stick there, I feel like a lot of that should stick there, because like the freaking documentary that just came out, the Ed Gein, or however you say his last name story, that's a crazy, I haven't watched the full series, but I've been reading a lot of other stories about it, and that's another example apparently of how a lot of things weren't shown or shared,
to where the Ed Gein story
And-
was manipulated a bunch of times for Hollywood, when Ed Gein's story was similar but different.
right. And it's like, okay, if we're gonna tell the story of this person, why not actually tell the story of the person?
Why tell the story of the person though? Like why?
Well, I don't know why they are telling the story of this guy, but I'm
like,
just saying.
So why does it have to be true? I mean, like you want it to be to the letter truth. You want all the facts to be on the photos, to where Hollywood's like, no, that's boring. This would be more fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's their business model for it.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, as a consumer, I think a lot of people would agree that when they over fluff and over Hollywood a fucking true story, or don't tell important information that is contributing to one story, like Ed Gein or this guy, fucking Philip, or whatever story it is that they're telling, I just feel like when it's not like fully the truth, then you shouldn't fucking say that it's based on true events, and you shouldn't claim it as a true story. You shouldn't claim it as that if you're fluffing it up with all this extra entertainment value, because the storyline, obviously, as we compared to this one,
As we compared
specifically,
notes,
is completely flip-flopped.
Well, okay, right. So where
So-
like Hollywood diverts and the docuseries continues is basically the docuseries says once Philip gets institutionalized, he stays there. He does not break free and start chopping bodies out of the wall. What happens is the mom gets possessed. And then that's when they build enough evidence for a case for them to send it to the Catholic guys who do the exorcisms to be like, okay, yes, you need an exorcism. So Hollywood stops at the fact, okay, the oldest son breaks all the bodies out of the walls. Like, I'm gonna do the thing to save the souls.
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
gonna light the house on fire and
I'm
burn
gonna light
myself and all the souls.
Yeah, right. Because I'm already dead because I've got the cancer. And I mean, and I understand that that's what Hollywood did. I mean, they told a great story. I was completely captivated. And
Yeah.
for a hot second there, that's what I thought would happen. And then I listened to the first docuseries, and then I listened to another docuseries.
Well, and
then I read
and that's what I'm
the
saying.
same story 3 different times. And then Hollywood shows me some kid chopping dead bodies out of a wall. And I was bummed that that's not what happened. And that instead, mom's face gets all contorted and messed up. She starts
in a black hole for 8 hours.
goes into like a downward spiral. And then they're like, oh, yep, your house is possessed. And then splash, splash, holy water. And then poof, you're done. That's not as fun to watch as some kid going crazy chopping bodies out of the wall.
Yeah, I totally get the entertainment side of it. I'm
So
just
they
saying.
didn't tell the true story, and that
No.
bothers you.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes, it bothers me. No, because like I see that happen so much though, because
Yeah.
we watch a lot of fucking documentaries.
We have.
And we always compare and research what we watch and try to find the
truth in
BS
it,
and the
yeah.
truth and whatever and what they made up and what they didn't make up, you know? And it's just kind of shitty that that is like a running theme.
Right.
When someone may watch a documentary to extract truthful information from, but it's a just
where do you
it's
think the
another
story came
example
from?
of what do you mean?
I mean, the story has to come from somewhere, right?
Well, yeah.
The story has to be
The story came from
based
the
off of
Warrens
some
investigators.
sort of truth or lie.
The story came from the Warrens investigators bullshit
Yeah, that's true.
that he made up.
That's true.
That he was told to make up to make it a good story. So like that type of shit, it makes paranormal stuff seem not credited
Right.
more so than it already is.
Well, everybody editorializes.
Well, I'm saying like for people that are completely skeptic as you,
Right.
someone that
it doesn't
is-
help my case.
it doesn't help your case.
No,
Not at all. It doesn't help at all. The fact that there's
People are
7
out there
different
that
stories
are trying
out.
to tell me that this is real, and I'm like, but wait, here you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help the situation for the paranormal industry for this particular genre. You know what
No.
I mean? And ultimately, you know, like I don't know, like I said, I don't know the whole story of the Ed. How do you say his last name? Gein. I don't know his story, okay? But I've been seeing a lot of shit on social media. And it's like,
That one was also really well done.
yes, I've watched a few episodes of it and I'm like,
Oh my
gosh. I'm
God.
like, this is intense, guys. Super intense. But it makes me when I watch something like that, I want to know the actual true story, right? Because then I can create my own perspective on what I believe is happening.
That means the dude who wrote the show did a good job.
Essentially, yes. But I've been reading that like a lot of his story wasn't actually told. Like who Ed was and like who he became, like wasn't actually told. And I don't know because I haven't seen the whole thing. I haven't watched the whole series. So I don't know. I don't know his story. I haven't done my research on it yet.
Right.
But I'm just using that as an example because it's super hot right now.
It
It
is.
just came out and we may or may not watch it and talk about it. I don't know. It's hard.
Ooh,
It's
that
a hard
is
one.
hard. Well, I mean,
we'll have to
that
tiptoe.
one has a lot of stuff that we have to be very careful with.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't like those types of topics.
There's
We're
a lot.
We're even writing it we're on a tiptoe right now, probably with the M word that we drop all the time.
Yeah. be fair.
We'll probably have to be unaliving, using that word instead. Take that
I don't
back.
have to be unaliving anymore. Okay.
We're gonna have to be using the word unalive, probably.
Got it. Instead
Yeah.
of the
other
M word.
Yeah. But I don't know, man.
My
I
bad.
just, you know, I just get
So are you
upset.
becoming a skeptic because the stories
No,
can't
I'm
be
not
told?
becoming a skeptic. I just want like I want the evidence and I want the facts to be factual. I don't want Hollywood to fluff something up and make me and other people think that that was part of the story because 95% of the consumers aren't going
So
to look at the full story.
Why is based on a true story not good enough for you?
I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, because you want it to be a true story.
I want it
You
to be
don't
a
want
true
it to be
story.
based on a true story.
I want to watch
you want
the
it
true
to
story.
be a true story of the haunting of Connecticut, the Snedeker family.
Yeah. Like, why not? Like, why not try that and see how it goes? to the public.
They probably have, and
I mean,
we've never heard of it because
well-
it sucked.
Blair Witch was pretty fucking popular.
Yeah, and you said it was horrible,
You
and
know,
I completely
I actually never
agree.
even watched the whole thing from beginning to end.
Oh man,
I've never watched the whole thing. I've only watched bits and pieces of
Me
it.
and my group of friends watched it, right? And
During a sleepover,
yeah.
spooky sleepover.
Ooh, even so much so to where I had like a video recorder because this is how Blair Witch is shot.
Yeah,
I had a video recorder and we're out at my friend's property, which is like 40 acres of nothing
you
but
guys
desert.
did like your own DIY.
We
Blair
tried
Witch?
to do our own little DIY Blair Witch, and this is where I got an ass full of cactus, my friends.
Oh,
Yeah, so we get so inspired by this spooky movie. We get like all ramped up on Surge and Sour Cherry and like we're like, we could do this. We could totally shoot our own little version. So we get out there, we got the camera rolling, and Ricky's got the flashlight and he's running this way, and everybody else is running that way, screaming, pretending to be scared. Nobody can see where they're actually running. I fall and trip
oh shit.
into a whole patch of cactus.
Oh damn.
Dude. Like,
Growing up in the desert, this is the struggles that we had.
Fell and like rolled. So it was one of those where it was like the back of my elbow, the back of my arm, like my whole side butt. Like it wasn't like my whole back, but it was definitely a
was
larger
enough.
portion. And I had like different species of cactus to where you could tell like the different spines. And
Oh,
like
God.
I rolled in a whole thing. So
That's horrible.
I wish I had this video still somewhere, but like you can see like us being stupid teenagers running in the desert with a flashlight. And then all of a sudden you hear this, I've got cactus in my ass.
Oh my God.
And then it cuts.
Oh
and then it turns back on for some reason. And then my friends are filming me getting like,
The extraction.
yeah. It was,
That's
it was
amazing.
not good.
I wish we had
I
that
think
video.
we also filmed a self-interpretation of what was the popular song back then? It was Barbie Girl.
Oh,
I'm a Barbie girl.
I'm a Barbie girl.
Yeah,
Barbie world. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's very cringeworthy stuff. I'm
That
glad
is
that's probably
cringe.
gone.
Somewhere.
Lost in the archives in my parents' house. And it should
Somewhere.
stay there. I'm saying this, folks. So yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So like I get it. You can be all jazzed up and inspired
Yeah.
to be your own little
But like, it's just disappointing, I think, when you find out that something isn't what you thought it was, essentially, you know?
yeah.
I mean,
buyer beware.
that's a very big disappointment just in life in general. But like for this type of stuff, right? Like even a non-paranormal documentary, like any documentary that I watch, if I'm watching it and I'm like, did that really happen? Did she really do that? You know, like there was a documentary I watched about this 16-year-old girl that sailed not around the world, but did some big sail by herself.
Right.
I forget what it was. It was actually a really good documentary. And she was the first girl to do it solo. And she went through like all this crazy shit, crazy storms and stuff. Like her parents were like her navigators and all this stuff like from land, right?
Right.
But I had looked up to see because she went through this crazy ass storm where her sailboat went like under the water and she was like, the sailboat was flipped upside down and she was way under the water. And supposedly sailboats can't sink because when they're flipped under, there's something in them that,
Keep them buoyant.
yes.
Yeah.
So in the movie, the boat like sinks down and then it just shoots itself back up because, you know, it can't sink. But like, I was like, did that really fucking happen? And like it did to an extent,
Right.
but not that dramatic.
Right.
And I was like, that's fine. Like that is cool. Like that was a good fluff to the documentary.
It has to be appropriate fluff, folks.
Yes. Like don't make it so extreme.
Don't overfluff it.
So stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a weird breed.
She's a great one. It's just a matter of like you like what you like.
Yeah.
You want your facts to be facts. You don't want your facts to be fluff.
No.
You don't want to have to wonder.
Yeah, and like I don't know. It's just like frustrating. It's something that I notice I really noticed it a lot like during this one because I read a
This
lot of
one-
different things about this story.
This one seemed to be the most contradictory versus
Yes.
like Hollywood's interpretation versus what happened supposedly according to
the
Ed and Lorraine's.
story and the Warrens and then the actual family and yeah, there's a lot of contradictories on this
I mean,
one.
don't get me wrong, the movie is great. I
Yeah.
liked the movie.
I enjoyed the movie.
I mean, spoilers, sorry, it came out in 2005. If you haven't watched it by now, that's your
2009.
fault. Anyways, regardless, it came out a long time ago.
So if you haven't watched it, go watch it.
It's on Peacock, I think, for free right now if you have Peacock.
Oh, nice. Watch the fluffs. Okay.
Enjoy the fluffs, folks.
Don't
take
take the
everything with a grain of salt.
don't take the fluffs too seriously.
Don't take the fluffs too seriously.
That's what we're gonna end on. If you guys liked this episode today, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe.
like and subscribe.
We do appreciate your support.
As
Also, hop on over to Team Awesome Podcast Studio. That is our podcast hub. We have a couple different shows going on over there right now. We will eventually get over there.
Eventually.
I'm a very busy person, and I just cannot have the time. I need like 3 days probably.
I think you need like 3 more people, really.
Yeah, 3 people would be great. But anyways, Team Awesome Podcast Studios, go check that out. Like and subscribe. Us, share, comment, all the things. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Girl, did you hear that crazy thing?